thought I'd make this video to document the crimp terminals I've ended up getting, because quite a lot of research went into this and I thought it might be useful to someone else. My difficulty in the UK was finding terminals, uninsulated terminals, open barrel, that would fit the 4.5mm square cable that I have for both the ring terminals at the fuse board end and some female spade type connectors at the other end where it connects to sockets and so on. So what I ended up with are some products from TE Connectivity, who have a huge amount of options. I ended up getting it from a company called DigiKey in America, and the ones that I've ended up with are called ring tongue terminals and model number 626035-2, and they have the thing that was particularly difficult to find, which was an M4 stud size for the whole area of the ring terminal, and yes, they fit, I think it's 4 to 6mm square cable, or whatever the American version of that is. I think it's 10 to 12 AWG, and so that's what they look like. I also got some 6.3mm spade terminals, well, female spade terminals. These are again for this size cable. One of the difficulties was finding the correct size. So TE have a lot of different ones of these, maybe 50, maybe more, I don't know. I looked through the spec sheets for all of them, and they all have a different combination of cable size range and insulation size range. So this area crimps onto the cable itself, and then this is an insulation support crimp area, and this one varies because presumably lots of cables have different thickness insulation. As I have found, the stuff that I've got from, I think it's ALM Electrical, has thinner insulation, and the stuff I got from Batteries and Solar has thicker, even though the specs otherwise seem to be much the same, and the same number of strands and so on. So yeah, so that's that. So it took quite a while to find the right combination, but this is what I've got, which seems to be, the model number of that is 180363-2, and I've yet to crimp them, so fingers crossed it'll be a good fit. They also come in a version which has a locking tab on the back. That bit there that sticks out, so they are different visually, like that. Okay, and the model number of that is 180351-2, and these will fit into this type of connector block or connector receptacle. Again, TE Connectivity 180907, and these are very similar to these, which are from Durite, part number 001113, multiple connector, white nylon, two-way female housing, and these do fit on, as someone suggested, they do fit on to this Durite 20 amp socket, where the prongs are very close together. It's possible it's slightly bending that terminal out, but not very much at all. So that does work quite well for that, as you can see. And they've got kind of a little locking tab, and that locking tab on the back clicks into the plastic inside, and you can actually remove it, as I did, because I accidentally put them in the wrong way around. I was just not really thinking, I was just trying it out, and then they got stuck, and I was like, oh, okay, how do I remove this? So you can actually put something thin down there to remove them if you need to. That's That's what they look like. So I also got some for my thinner cables. So I've got, that's my 4.5mm square cable, and then I've also got this thinner stuff, which is 2mm squared. And so I needed some terminals for that. So again, I got some ring terminals, open barrel type, like so. Again with the 4mm stud. Model number on that is 60771-2. You can see the size difference there between those and the bigger ones. And then we have some 6.3mm female spade connectors for that smaller cable too, which the model number is 170032-4. And those will be used with this type of uninsulated crimp tool. Now I've got one from Durite because I can't afford the TE connectivity options. That's model number is 070350, and the type you're looking for has this sort of curled around, I don't know, M-shaped crimp area and the die on it, and it has 3 different sizes. So I'll be using the 2 larger sizes because I've got 2mm square cable and 4.5mm square cable. So you can see the ranges there. Also gives you the American wire sizes, and you can see that it has the 2 different areas that it crimps. So a sort of tighter area for the where it crimps onto the wire, and a slightly looser area where it crimps onto the insulation around the cable. That's what the die looks like. Okay. Now I also got, because I needed to boost the shipping above £33, I also got some Anderson power pole connectors, which I'm going to use for connecting my fridge, freezer, and possibly a couple of other things around the van. These ones are for the 45 amp connectors, and they are of the open barrel sort of style, whereas the 15 and the 30 amp power pole connectors have a closed sort of cylindrical design instead. Model number of that is 1345, and that is both for the housing and the connector. You don't have to buy them separately. That's the model number for them together. And then I also got some black ones, which are 1345G6. That's those. And again, because the Anderson power pole crimp tools are way beyond my budget, I am trying these iWis ones, and hopefully the claims that they are good design, despite being only £30, is true. And you can see they've got a sort of similar concept to the uninsulated ones in terms of having the M shape, but they are the same shape all the way through, and they're quite deep. And they also have this area which seems to support the ends of the terminal whilst it's being crimped. And you can see it's got the 15, 30 and 45 amp areas for the different terminals there. So we shall see how that works. I also ended up getting separately some new CK cutters. These ones are for 11mm max cable diameter, and hopefully, I've been very happy before with my old CK tools, cutters and stripper. This is like a little 2-in-1 thing, which I found very useful for working in my house on electrics. So yeah, we'll see how that holds up, because they've served me well before, so fingers crossed. Anyway, I think that's everything. I think that's the whole shebang of terminals that I've got, uninsulated terminals to use now. So we'll see how that goes. You can see my other video where I discuss insulated terminals as well, and why I've ended up not going with those.